Hey, are you or someone you know planning to take an AP exam this year? If so, in this video, I'm going to talk about the recent announcement from the College Board on changes to the AP program in 2021. My name is Brooke. I've been coaching AP tests as well as SAT and ACT prep for over a decade and a half as a private tutor. You can find out more about me and all that we do here at SupertutorTV at our website, SupertutorTV.com, where we've got a couple of online courses for the SAT and the ACT. You can also check out my books on Amazon.com for the ACT math section. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and right here on YouTube. Click subscribe if you like this video, because we'd love to have you join us. You can also sign up for our mailing list, SupertutorTV.com/subscribe, and we'll keep you in the know of all our latest videos that come out weekly. Cool, so let's get into this. AP plans for 2021. On February 4th of this year, the College Board announced the latest plans for the AP exams. Now, as many of you know, last year, the test shrank down to a 45-minute essay for the majority of AP exams that you could take at home. A lot of people were up in arms about this because, one, they thought a lot of people could potentially be cheating, and two, because people had worked all year to cover a lot of different topics, and all of their score was relegated to a single essay, which if you screw the one essay up, you're completely screwed, and that's not cool. So we had a lot of complaints about that particular format. This year, we're back to a 3-hour exam. Hooray! But within that exam, the College Board is going to be offering both digital versions of the exam and paper versions of the exam. In addition, schools are going to get to decide whether you are going to be able to take the paper version, the digital version at home, or the digital version at school. And that's something that's going to come down to school district by school district. They can do a mix of these things, so they can let students choose if they so want to, or they can dictate what's going to be available in their particular district. So that's a question for your school counseling office, for your AP coordinator at your high school, or your AP teacher may have already talked to you about this. And if so, awesome. The next thing that I want to talk about that's a change to this particular exam is the schedule. Whereas AP exams usually are given on a single schedule during the month of May, this year, because of the pandemic, they are going to be given over the course of 3 different testing periods that are available. And there will be one opportunity to take each particular subject matter within each administration. The first administration is going to range from May 3rd to May 17th, which is a traditional time window that AP exams are usually given. This first round is going to be a 3-hour paper test that is given at school, and that's the only way you can take it. All of the exams are going to be available during that time period, and if for some reason you have to miss that particular administration, you can make up the exam in one of the second or third administrations that are going to be offered by the College Board. Round 2 is going to be a mix of both paper and digital. As the College Board says, half the exams are going to be given in paper and half the exams are going to be given in digital. But what some of you might not realize is it's a subject-by-subject division. So the courses that are going to have paper exams are courses where working things out on paper is advantageous or the in-person element is important. So those exams include all of your language and culture classes, music theory, as well as your hard sciences such as physics and chemistry, and mathematics exams. All of those exams are going to be given in paper during the second round. And if you'd like to take digital exams, the digital exams are going to cover your social sciences, history, and English kind of classes. Now, this digital format, schools are going to be able to decide whether you're going to take that digital format at school, so you would come to school and then take the test on a computer, or whether you would take it at home. For the third round of testing, the majority of test takers are going to be taking digital exams. Now, these digital exams in the third round could be given at school or at home, again, depending on the decision of your high school. In this administration, we're going to see a few more tests convert to digital format. Japanese and Chinese are going to be in a digital format, and those will be given at school only. So you cannot take those at home, even though they are available digitally. All math and all sciences are also going to be available in digital format, though they were not available in digital format for the second round or administration. And those can be administered in schools or at home, depending on the decision of your AP coordinator. Now, in the third administration, there are still a few exams that are only going to be offered at school, namely all the foreign language and culture classes and music theory. The College Board has said that the reason that music theory and language courses will only be offered at school is that it's just too easy to cheat. You need to be in a proctored environment because they've promised that they're not going to be recording any audio from students at home. So they don't want to open the door to cheating on these two types of exams through audio assistance or the use of apps, and they believe that apps such as translation apps or musical instruments would be a risk because students could essentially cheat on their sight singing or foreign language translation tasks in a way that would be unfair. Some other changes that we're going to see this year: one, we're going to see synchronous start times. So in order to make sure that there's not cheating going on, especially because we have so many people who are going to be taking these exams on digital devices and sometimes at home, we're going to see everything synchronized. That means if you're in Pacific time, you might take a test at 9 a.m. that someone in Central time is going to take at 11 a.m. and someone in Eastern time will take at noon. It also means that some of you will have to take AP exams in the evening or late afternoon after school traditional hours. So just be prepared that your AP schedule may be a little bit different than it's been in years past when schools would stagger the tests throughout the day in a traditional paper setting. Let's now talk about why people are up in arms complaining and why there's controversy over these changes. Well, first is a question of access to exams. As you heard, there's a particular type of exam that will only be given in person. And as some of you know, there are many school districts that are closed and are only doing online education, and they remain shuttered even as the vaccine begins to roll out for educators. I would expect that some of these school districts are not going to open up even for AP exams. And what that means is if you want to take music theory or a language AP exam, you might be out of luck. So the College Board has responded to this. What happens if I can't take music theory AP? They've said, one, you can try to find a school somewhere close to you or maybe not so close to you that does offer the exam and then try to take the exam in that way. Or two, if you're taking a foreign language, you can cancel the exam at no cost to you and take what's called a CLEP test for certain languages such as Spanish, German, or French. A CLEP test is basically a mastery test that you can take to prove to colleges that you have a certain proficiency in a language. But as you might imagine, I did not name several languages that are on the AP exam. Latin, for example, Chinese, Japanese, right? These languages are not being incorporated into that accommodation in particular. And finally, the College Board says you can take a placement exam at the college or university you plan to attend. I think in terms of admission, certainly AP exams in foreign languages aren't as much of an admission factor typically as a lot of other subject matter are. History, English, for example, math, computer science A, these kind of things, those tend to weigh a little bit more heavily in your admission profile than foreign language does. Shoulder shrug. So that's issue number one, and this is why people are complaining about the exam. Complaint number two. So the complaint number two that has been coming up is the issue of security and devices. So in order to create a secure testing environment, originally on February 5th, the College Board on its website announced that you would be required to have a device that had a built-in camera or a camera of some sort attached, like a webcam. Now, a few weeks later, that language disappeared from the College Board's website. So we're not sure exactly what's going on when it comes to whether you need a camera or don't need a camera, but we do know one thing. The College Board is doubling down on the fact that the test will not be available on iPads or iPhones. If you remember last year, for at-home AP exams, students were able to use phones and iPads in order to submit their exam results, but no longer. Now, I know a lot of students have school-issued iPads, and those are their primary learning devices. Particularly, there's been an outcry from New York. So in New York, you can't go to school in person. They have no plans for in-person testing at this point, and you can't use an iPad. So if you're a student who doesn't have access to your own computer or your parents work, and when they're working from home, they need their laptop and you can't borrow mom's laptop in the middle of the day or she's gonna lose income, you know, that creates a real equity issue. But I also see an equity issue if the College Board allowed iPads, because iPads are not as good of a device to take a test on where you have to type the answers as a computer. It's much easier to select things when you've got an upright, and a computer screen and you've got a mouse and you can type. It's really hard to write papers on an iPad if you don't have an additional keyboard. And even if you do, oftentimes the keyboard that goes with your iPad is super teeny tiny and it's kind of hard to type on. So there's also further equity issues even if the College Board allowed the use of iPads. It still could mean that you're having a different testing experience than other kids and it might affect your score. To me, I prefer paper and in person if you can do it and you feel safe and your teachers are vaccinated and you feel like you're not at risk and you don't have health issues. That to me would be my preference if I had a choice. But I realize there's a pandemic out there and that makes, these decisions hard for a lot of people and a lot of school administrators. So I applaud the College Board for trying to give you guys options. I also applaud the College Board for trying to put it in the hands of schools. I know some schools are in person and some schools are not in person. And if students have been coming to school every day anyway, right, to come to school for a test isn't that much of a change up, and they're going to be able to identify the students that have had issues with coming to school in person, who have serious health conditions or health issues, so as to accommodate those people, but also to continue to try to provide the highest level of security on the test and a good, safe, and quiet testing environment that a lot of students might not have at home. So there you go, changes to the AP program. What do you guys think of these changes? Good, bad, ugly? The best we can do given COVID-19? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks again so much for watching, and be sure to check out our other videos on AP tests and beyond. We'll see you next time. Bye.